Another day, another unboxing, you know the drill. This is a SiOnyx Aurora. It is a camera. It is a action camera. It is a water resistant, dust resistant camera. But what really sets it apart is that it is a super low light camera, meaning you can almost see in the dark. And no, even though it says night vision here, it's really not a night vision camera. It is not a FLIR-like camera. It is an actual camera that can capture color in low light, and it's incredibly sensitive. So that's what's cool about it. That's why I have a review unit. Again, if you're not familiar with the channel, this is a complement to my podcast, mobiletechpodcast.com. So I'll be discussing this in more detail on the show soon. But in the meantime, let's unbox this together. So, great for activities like skiing, hiking, camping, hunting, catching fish. I don't know. Bunch of happy people here. Skiing, hiking, camping, hunting fish. This is what it looks like from the front. Big lens. Here's some instructions and information. Use day and night. Removable rechargeable battery. Uses micro SD. Built-in GPS, Wi-Fi, and compass, and IP67 as I mentioned. 720p H.264 video recording. It doesn't sound like much, but once I explain to you a little bit what's going on, you'll get it. SiOnyx, weird name. So here's a little bit of a blurb. SiOnyx Aurora is the world's first action camera with color night vision. So color night vision, okay? Completely waterproof. Aurora allows you to view and report your adventures and record, your adventures all day and night in monochrome or color night imagery. Enhance your personal safety while capturing all the excitements under near moonlight or starlight, moonless starlight. So there's an app. This is a connected device, of course, since it's got Wi-Fi, and yeah. That's basically the nuts and bolts of it. So let's go ahead and unbox this sucker. Dun, da, da, dun, da, da, dun, da, da, da. Oh man, it's taking a while for that thing to slide off. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. Inside is a nice black finish. All right, whoa, I've got this the other way, so let's turn it over. So first thing you find in the box is a quick start guide. I don't know why they say night vision, because it's really just an extremely sensitive CMOS sensor. It's not night vision in the sense of like the green glow you see in movies, which using an image intensifier. This is actually using a camera sensor that's just extremely, sensitive and is capturing IR. Absolutely is an IR capable sensor. So that's a little guide here that tells you before you start, fully charged, congratulations. Here are the settings. So you have a shutter button. You can adjust, you turn on and off and start recording all this stuff. Advanced settings, zoom, gain, etc. Scene ring, day, twilight, night. So that actually changes the aperture, I found out, of the camera. The fastest aperture is f/1.4, then there's f/2 and f/5.6. And there's a focus ring, manual focus. And then there's a power camera mode button here. On the side here, you've got, or rather the front, you have a diopter dial to adjust. Sorry, because that's the back, I'm sorry. So on the back, there's a little viewfinder. It's a high quality OLED viewfinder, and it has a sensor to turn on the display when you put it close to your eye. So you can use it like a binocular, a monocular, I guess, since it only has one eye. And there's a diopter for focusing that image, and this is to adjust, the focus of the thing, which is cool. All right, what else is there? There's a release button. You can remove the viewfinder, and then you can load an SD card and the battery and all that stuff. So that's how they made it water resistant, dust resistant. And then the settings. The power off, photo, video, loop, playback, Wi-Fi, and settings. And there's another setting button here, the scene ring, daytime. I told you that changes the aperture. And now, before we get into it, You're probably wondering what sensor resolution this is. I think only 1.3 megapixels. So it is not very high res, but the pixels are gigantic, and with an f/1.4 lens, this is going to capture a lot of light. So let's continue, shall we? All right, here we go. This is going to fall off, so I'm just going to push it aside. Ooh, soft material. Wow, there it is. And there's a little battery pack here, and the camera itself. There's a little battery, so see if I can get this out. Yeah, battery pack. What does it say on it? It is a 1025 milliamp hour battery. Actually, it's 1100. And it seems to be purpose for this device. 3.6 volts. Pretty standard stuff. Pretty thin, pretty small. Okay, so that very much looks like a photography camera. Even has a little notch here. Let's see. Then there's the camera itself, and some more stuff underneath. That's the camera. I'm going to bring it out in a minute. There's another divider here, and it comes with a little pouch to carry it around. Very, very, very thoughtful. Let's see what this is made of, shall we? It's feels pretty nice. I will probably be using this. Yeah, it's nice and soft, sort of silky material. And then we've got USB charge and data cable. This is micro USB on one end and USB type A on the other. Don't need that, got lots of those. Here's another cable. Oh, that's not a cable, that's a lanyard. Interesting. All right, I think that's all there is in the box. So now that we've looked at this, let's look at the actual camera itself. Small, a little smaller than I expected, still pretty big. To give you an idea of how big this is, I'm going to pull out my my phone, which is a Pixel 2 XL. So here's a Pixel 2 XL in comparison, right? So this is not particularly tiny, but not particularly huge either, okay? So it's Pixel 2 XL in the case. That's a standard size, a large screen phone today. And so that now you have an idea. So you have a tripod mount here, which is cool. Specs. This is very much, feels like a camera, like a Sony or something. Like a camcorder from a few years ago that you held like this. So here's the record button, as you can see. Here's like a D-pad with an OK button. And here's a scene mode, which changes the aperture. You can see it. Look inside. Look inside as I rotate. There's bigger and even bigger. That's f/1.4, f/2, f/5.6. 5.6 to 1.4. Got a dial here with the modes. They mentioned that. You got the focus ring right here. There doesn't seem to be any kind of threading to mount any kind of filter on here. Obviously, you don't want to put an IR filter on this. And then that's it. Here's the diopter for the screen, and you can see it potentially moving a little. There's the sensor for when you put it to your eye to turn it on and off. GPS receiver must be under here. And that's it. I like the kind of green highlights on it, so that's very cool. So anyway, I will see if I can remove this viewfinder. Apparently, they showed us in the instructions. I wasn't paying attention in class when I was looking at this, but you're supposed to be able to remove this viewfinder piece here, and then you can put the battery in. Let's see if I can figure it out. No. Well, I wasn't looking and paying attention earlier, so that's what I get. That's what I get for not paying attention. Let's see. Does this slide? All right. I'm curious now. I'm going to look again. What was it you had to do to remove the viewfinder? Pull down viewfinder release button. That's the part I was missing. Viewfinder release. I see. You pull on this little thing down here. this button here, you pull that up. Let me show you again, like that. So pull that, and apparently the viewfinder comes out. There we go. Okay. So here you can see there's some sort of connector, probably presumably for the viewfinder, and it all comes out, and then you can put the battery in here like this, and it does lock in with a pin right here. See? So how do you unlock it though? Don't know. Doesn't seem to come out. So micro SD slots right here. I have a card somewhere, but I'll put it in. So how do you release this battery? Do you push on it? Do you... Yeah, oh, there we go. So you really have to... there we go. It's not as intuitive as you'd think. It doesn't release by itself when you pull on this. You kind of have to pull on it with your hand a little bit. The spring inside is obviously not strong enough. But hey, minor thing. Maybe the tolerances are a little too tight. See, the spring here is supposed to automatically eject it when you push on this, but as you can see, you kind of have to force it a bit. Anyway, I'm nitpicking here, okay? I'm nitpicking. Let it go. All right, so you put this back in like that, and then I guess it's locked back in. So this doesn't click or anything. You just have to know that it's back in. See, I was expecting a click from this pull tab when you know it's in. That would have been nice. So maybe these are just early production growing pains, but honestly, other than that, this feels super nicely made. So I'm going to put an SD card in it and put it to the test, especially in low light. So here's the thing. You guys probably don't know this, some of you, because you don't watch the channel or you're new to it. But I do go to Burning Man, the festival in the desert in Nevada, in late August. I actually am staff, I work there. So I will bring this with me and try it out. That's kind of the best place I can bring it. There's lots of dust, and since it's IP67, it should resist the dust. And more importantly, lots of night stuff happening and nice stuff to film and take photos of. So this does stills at like 1 megapixel or so, and video at 720p. And more importantly, you can live watch through the viewfinder or whatever the sensor is capturing. And the company is came from a bunch of researchers in Massachusetts and MIT and Cambridge, and they came up with this crazy super high sensitive CMOS sensor that reacts to infrared and etc. So they decided to make a consumer product. This is the first one. So brace yourselves for the last bit before I finish this video. This camera is $799, right? Oof, that is painful. I can feel it right now. I can hear you moan and groan. Yeah, $799 for this camera, but supposedly it's insane in low light. So I'll tell you when I put it through its paces. And stay tuned again for me talking about this on the podcast, mobiletechpodcast.com. We're on iTunes, on Google Podcasts, Pocket Casts, Overcast, pretty much everywhere. Also subscribe to the channel, like this video, and tell your friends to come to this channel and to come to the podcast, okay? Cheers, everybody. Catch you for another video shortly. Bye.